All right, you guys should be able to hear me now. What's good, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see if we are good. Oh, hold on. Try to make sure we're solid on my end or your end, everybody. You're muted. I think I should be good after. Let me give me 1 second. There we go. All right. There was a delay on my end on the stream. Okay, I didn't have this mic plugged in. I have another mic. I just got another one just to see if the quality will be a little bit better. I finally got it plugged in. But what's good, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully everybody's having a great morning so far. A great weekend as well. My camera's going crazy right now. Let me actually get rid of that. I didn't realize how bad that looks, so let's get rid of that really quick. All right, so let's get rid of that because that's just all choppy for no reason. So we're going to use we're not going to use the camera for right now, but you guys should be able to hear everything. Let me just make sure that everything is solid. All right. Yeah, my camera, my thing was going crazy. All right, so we'll just turn that off, leave that off right now, but obviously go over the chart, see if there's anything that we can identify. I'll make sure that I fix the camera and everything for later on. I get new equipment, and for some reason, it just never wants to work. So I get a new camera because it kept freezing, and now it just doesn't even want to work in its entirety, it seems. So we should be good. All right, so can hear you now, perfect. And my man's was good, man. I appreciate you being on today. Corey was good. My man Rome was good, everybody. So good morning, everybody. Hopefully everybody had a great Easter weekend, a very safe one at that, and hopefully everybody was able to enjoy their time with their friends and family. If you were able to travel, that's great as well. I simply just chilled for the most part, was able to relax. So I'm hoping everybody was able to do the same thing. Now that the markets are open, being that it is a Tuesday with now no longer a bank holiday, we can actually go ahead and take a look at that really quick. Here on Forex Factory, if nobody really understood the reasoning on why the market was so slow yesterday and even so slow right now, is because we did have a lot of bank holidays as of yesterday due to obviously the holiday weekend. So the volatility was not there as of yesterday, and even as of right now, there's not going to be that much strong volatility or something too crazy, especially right now because there is no fundamental news or fundamental analysis that's really going to impact the markets negatively or even positively for any pair. Excuse me. So we should be seeing a very just stable, very steady week. I think always on a Wednesday you're going to get that Canadian news at 8:30. But besides that, we're going to have a pretty solid week. Obviously on Thursday, if I'm correct, they're going to have the federal Powell speak, and that's really about it. And then Friday, you're not going to really have anything for the U.S. dollar, which is basically the pair or the markets I usually trade. So we're going to have a pretty solid week to be able to identify any type of probabilities or any type of entries within the market. So I really want to make sure that we mark up our charts that's going to be relevant to you guys. It's going to help you guys understand and learn how to become better traders, and really be able to identify what's needed to become profitable within the markets. That's the biggest thing for me as well. So before I begin, if there's any questions that you guys have, if there's something that you quite don't understand, feel free to ask and let me know. I will be able to try to answer your questions to the best of my abilities and the best of my knowledge. If there's any specific markets that you would like to identify as well, also feel free to let me know. I'll take a look at that, and then we can go from there. If not, I'll just look at the markets that I usually take a look at, which is gold, yen pairs, a lot of U.S. cross pairs such as EU, GBP, USD, things of that nature. But if you have any specific markets you would like for me to take a look at, feel free to let me know. If there's any questions that you have, again, feel free to let me know as well, and I'll go ahead and do that for you guys. If also you guys could do me one quick favor, because I really want to make sure that I'm building this community through just value, transparency, excuse me, and profits. Please, by all means, share this with somebody, get somebody on this, like this, put this in front of somebody else. So that way anybody who is learning how to trade, who is interested in trading, can obviously learn a thing or two as they're, continuing in their trading journey. I think that's really important. So let me see, nothing so far in the chat. I am taking a look at the chat. So if there is anything, feel free to let me know. If not, I'm gonna take a quick look here at gold, because I'm always taking a look at gold. Gold being my favorite market to trade alongside yen pairs. Gold, anything U.S. cross related, because obviously during this time, around 8:30, around this time, you're going to be looking to trade the New York session or the New York London gap or the overlay, right? Because what you're getting is both markets are kind of still trading at the same time, so the volatility there is much greater. And what you're going to be looking at is for these markets, such as gold and any U.S. cross pair, to have more volatility than others, and that's what you want to trade. So that's exactly why at this time I'm looking at gold, why I'm looking at U.S. cross pairs, why I'm looking at the DXY, because I really want to understand what the next few moves are going to be while this market is alive. So right now, gold being very choppy, which is, expected, again, because of how the holiday weekend is, or was rather. So we're not going to get too much movement, and you can see how this market right now has just been consolidated, just stuck within this little range right here. And that's great, because it's building up the needed volatility and momentum to then create its next move. Now, I think that what we're looking at, if we scale out to a higher time frame, is we're currently seeing a bullish market currently, in the sense of these lows here to these highs here. If my tools want to work. There we go, right? So if I can understand that this is a bullish move from these lows to these highs, I should be more along the lines looking for more continued buys if in fact the market is showing me that. But I don't quite see that as of yet. What I am starting to see is it's starting to find a little bit of a bearish note to it, right? Because not always should we be looking to continue with the market trend if the market is not giving us that identity. So what I have to do is look left to get right. Now what I am going to do is just draw a line right here. Now the reason why I'm drawing that line right there is because I'm identifying the current market status. Well, actually, where's my little arrows? Oh, what? There it is. So we can see here that we have a market, a level of resistance. And if we look left over here, we'll actually just go from here to here. You can see that we're meeting a previous level of structure, which is important. Now I'm on the 4-hour time frame, so this is a pretty decent time frame for us to be identifying candlestick patterns. Now I know I always tell you guys to identify your candlestick patterns, learn them. It's really important. And if you do, or you have, you'll understand what this candlestick is, what this candlestick means, and you'll know what this candlestick means. In total, you'll actually know what all three of these mean together. This is a candlestick reversal pattern. That reversal pattern is going to tell you something. Maybe that bullish market or the bullish market is no longer available and bears are trying to take over. All right, we should be looking for sells. If you don't know exactly, I'll tell you what this candlestick is on its own. It's simply a bearish engulfing candlestick. Bearish engulfing. So me being able to see that bearish engulfing candlestick at a level of structure is a pretty significant action, right? Because if I can see what's happening here already, it's probably going to give me an idea of what's going to happen in the future, right? It's going to give us that early idea. Now, I'm going to draw a few trend lines. We're going to draw that trend line there. And I'm sure we can actually draw a trend line here, no? Just playing around with some of the new analysis, because obviously this market has moved and developed throughout time, so I want to make sure that I'm adapting with the market movement. I am going to use that as a initial trend line as well. So if this trend line also being broken, that could show us more potential sells. And with this weird little choppy market, I'm not really waiting for too much as far as, because I already understand that this level of structure here has been respected. Perfect. I see that this resistance high has been already shown us a level of rejection. If I'm looking at what's currently happening, we're not creating any more higher highs and higher lows. Market structure, right? We're not following that sentiment. What we are getting, in a sense, is creating now more of a low because we were able to break below these lows. And we actually did come back to kind of retest that zone. What I would be looking for, and I'll just draw it like this. This will be our entire zone. I'll be looking at something like this for a breakout of either range or level rather, because that'll show us the true direction of where the market wants to go. Right? Now what we can do, and what I'll be doing with legacy students, this will probably be a trade sent out to you guys so that way obviously we can make money off of this. This is going to be our sell range because we're in a ranging market now. We just broke it down just in a very simple, very easy, quick manner. Because it's gold right now, so I mean it's consolidated right now, so gold's really not going to give you too much. So you don't want to overcomplicate with what you're looking at. You know what I mean? You just want to use what the market's currently giving you. So range high, if broken, buys continue. Very simple idea, right? Because we're starting to break above previous, or if we're just starting to break above highs in general, of level of structure, obviously the buyers are still very much well within that market. And this will obviously be our range low. If broken, sells continue. Now, how do we enter this and how can we potentially trade this? This will be I'm pretty sure that's a question everybody's probably wondering right now. The best way I think that we would be able to do this is one of two ways. Let me get rid of this trend line real quick. Obviously, we know it's there. I'll be placing that back in the near future, but it's just so that way we get a clear understanding of what I'm talking about. So let me put these over here so no one's confused. There's a few ways that we can do this, and gold is a market that you could probably get away with it because his range is about, let's see, about 76 pips, so basically one candle. What I do want to identify is any potential opportunities, right? The confirmation is the break above or the break below of where the market's going to go, and obviously where you want to place your trades. Now, we can be a little bit risky in the sense and say, well, let's say the market comes back up to this range high, excuse me, and we start to see a level of respect there. What we can end up doing is placing a sell, so that way if it does start to sell from here at least, we can either take profits from here, or if it breaks, we're already in early sells and we continue with that market to the downside. And vice versa. Let's say the market comes back down to this support range and you see it respecting it. You can place a small buy and see if this will be your first take profit, and or if that's broken, you're already in the buys and you continue. That's a little bit risky in the sense of how to trade gold, but with the market that we're looking at right now, those will probably be our best bets. So I would be personally looking at either one of those ideas. I would like to see this market push up a little bit higher, respect this high, respect that range high, and look for a sell. If we can get a sell from there, our trade setup would look like this. Now, I'm not immediately placing this trade. Obviously, I would wait for confirmations that would develop around that area, but this is just a simple idea. And my stop loss will be rather close too, because I'm not going to try to have a really steep stop loss on something where if I know that that structure is broken, it's most likely going to continue. And if I have a stop loss that's all the way up here, after that level of structure is broken, that stop loss is probably going to be hit. So I want to mitigate risk as much as possible. So I'll keep stop losses pretty tight on this. And I apologize for any noise in the background. I'm in New York City, so you're going to hear a lot of stuff in the background. You're going to hear people probably screaming, trucks and cars, no matter what. It's crazy, so I apologize. But all right, so that's kind of like what I'll be looking at with gold in a strong sense. But that's just to start us off with. I'm looking at the chat right now. It seems like a lot of you guys are just paying attention and listening, which is dope. But if you guys have any questions, let me know what questions you guys have. If there's any specific markets that you would like to identify, have me take a look at, give you my idea and what I believe is going to happen next, by all means, feel free to let me know what market you want to take a look at. If not, I'll obviously look at a few more, see if there's any other opportunities that we can look for as far as entries are concerned, and really break down a chart to help you guys understand how to be a little bit more consistent with your trading. If anybody's wondering, this is simply called price action trading. As you see, there's not one indicator on my chart. I'm keeping everything as clean and very simple as possible. I'm just using the clues that the market has left behind before, so that way I can identify potential opportunities in the future. Because that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell the future when we're trading. So let's be very, very cognizant of that. So let me just see what you guys got. What's up, my man Steve? What's good, Steve? What's good, homie? Let me see. None from you guys? All right, let me see. Let me actually go ahead and see what Bitcoin is doing. I want to see what cryptos are doing, because what I looked at this before and it was pretty much doing exactly what we were speaking on before. So I really want to take a quick look at this. So let me actually scale out to the weekly time frame. I know a lot of people may say the weekly time frame, yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. This is a big ass time frame. It is, I know. And can I say, oh well, look at that, Steve? I was already taking a look at Bitcoin. I saw that right after. So how beautiful is that? Is speaking into existence, right? So what I'm looking at right now is, again, like it's really important that we look at Bitcoin on a technical standpoint, and all cryptos on a technical standpoint, right? Because what we're going to most likely get is, I would say, more along the lines of a bearish market. A lot of people might disagree, but I do think, and we're gonna talk on this on both spectrums, right? The technical side and what I believe, like, not conspiracy, but more common sense, right? What I do think is, on a technical standpoint, is yes, I do understand that Bitcoin has hit 70,000, or just about, right? I get that, but what has it done since then? It started selling. Now, not only did it sell, you would think a lot of people started saying, well, no, it's a corrective sell. It's going to buy from there, because this wick, this candlestick rejection, after respecting a previous level of structure that it was broken out of, and it didn't. It completely broke right through, right? So we can see how the market just said, no, I'm good. I want to continue to sell. But not only did it say it wanted to continue to sell, it left a lot of clues behind that the sells were not just going to stop off of just, one little push beyond a level of structure, that the majority of this market has more weight to the downside if we just pay a little bit more closer attention. Because I know a lot of people are like, I want to day trade cryptos. That's great. But I personally invest into it. And I don't believe investing into cryptocurrencies at this point is safe or the right idea. It's definitely safe. Cryptocurrencies, I love them. Don't get me wrong. I was not a fan of them at first, but like I absolutely understand what they are now. I understand the when they become applicable in the near future, the power that they have for us. So I do believe that it will be more valuable in the near future, but what we're looking at is, again, a very strong, I'd say, idea to the downside. The biggest thing that I'm looking at, and I'm pretty sure I went over this with everybody so many times that you guys are probably sick and tired of me talking about it, what I'm looking at is this head and shoulders pattern. Like that's big because it's already completed, right? Not only did this head and shoulders pattern just like, oh, maybe, no, it's valid, it's relevant, it's there, it happened. And we need to take note of it. So I'm going to get rid of this because what we're also going to do, and I'm just going to draw a neckline here, is make it a little bit more easier for you guys to see how important that is. So we have the break of the neckline of a head and shoulders pattern and the retest of it, right? So when we look at this, we have our connective points. I don't know how my settings on my trading view got all messed up, but it's weird. Let me do this. There we go. So we have connected points, and we have the break here, and we have two levels of retest there. Now, what's important to also understand is I'm going to get rid of some of these, and we're just going to leave that one that's current, the one right here, right? Because when we look left to get right, we also understand that we came back to a level of previous structure. This was a level of support over here. If I go down to the daily, you'll be able to see it a little bit better, right? You can see how this level of structure was respected almost perfectly, right? Yes, you do have a peak above, but when we go up to the weekly, what is that? Wicks, rejection. So this is longer term analysis. This isn't just like 5-15 minute, you know what I mean, where you're just going to get maybe a small idea. I mean, even on Bitcoin, it moves pretty volatile. So a small idea is pretty profitable though. But at the same time, what we're looking at is if you want to day trade this, you should be looking for sells. Why? Because of exactly what the market is leaving behind. We have that break, we have that test, we have the rejection. Now, what else can we do to further confirm this? Now, at first, I was looking at more of a trend line like this. Actually, that does look better. Actually, I was looking at my trend line like this at first. That's exactly what I was looking at before. That would work, but I actually do like this a little bit more. I like this. So this would be considered, not really. This was more along the lines I was looking at my counter trend line being that, but I actually do like this trend line that we're looking at here a lot more. So I do want to see a break of that trend line and also a break of that structure here at these lows. Now, I'm going to get rid of the things in the past so we're not too confused, but we'll leave it like that. And I'll draw this as our level of structure with our more of a box so that way we know that's the relevant point of lows that need to be broken. That trend line will be one catalyst though. So let's say it breaks that trend line. I'm already contemplating. I'm like, oh shit, well, if that trend line is broken, that structure is going to be broken immediately. That structure is going to be broken as well. But we're probably going to get a correction from there, a retest. And then if you're looking to then day trade cryptos, you can identify something like that. The respect of structure and trend line before a sell. So yeah, hopefully that kind of makes a little bit of sense. I know I kind of went like kind of deep on that, but I want to make sure I'm being as detailed as possible. And we can also add our fib, swing high, swing low. And you can also see that 38.2. I don't know why I always forget to use fibs. For some reason, always on cryptos. I feel like for some reason, I just always forget to use fibs on cryptos. But we do have that perfect 38.2 fib respect. So what I do think is going to happen is we're going to get a sell. I mean, it's already selling, but in the sense of long-term analysis, I believe it's going to sell even past, I mean, this is our first real level of structure where I believe that'll be tested and the market will make a decision because as you see, if we look left, this was the previous lows, the strongest point of structure and support that you can see. I think, what year was this? Last year, actually. Right? Yeah, last year, 2021. Okay, yeah. Leading from almost 2020 to 2021, this is the strongest point of structure. If that is broken, which I believe may happen, is we're going to be looking at anywhere between the $10,000 to $15,000 handle. as far as structure being respected again. And the reason why I'm speaking on this on a technical standpoint, but we also have to understand this on a fundamental aspect as well. Because what we're looking at is everyone is now able to trade Bitcoin. It's so accessible. It is so easy for anybody to just take $5, $10, $50, throw it into a crypto wallet, let it sit and, hope that it goes into profits. My biggest thing is that's the same thing with banks and institutions. They were not able to invest into these markets previously, and now they are going to be able to very soon. So as an investor, as a trader, as somebody as us, as I would say people with common sense, which is all of us here, we understand that you're not going to be buying at a high point. So this is why I have this theory that the reason why we couldn't break above the 70,000 handle is because who wants to buy at 70,000 when you have the opportunity and can buy at 10,000? You know what I mean? If I have, let's say I only have $70,000 and I want to buy this or buy Bitcoin. I don't want to just buy one Bitcoin for 70,000. If I could buy it at 10 and get 7 of them with the same amount, that's something I will be looking forward to. So what I do believe is that the bullish pressure is easing off because a lot of people, not just us, not just like, regular, people like us, big wigs, people with huge money, billions and trillions of dollars. Trust me, I wish I had billions and trillions of dollars. It sounds really nice. But those individuals, of course, anybody who has that much money wants even more money. So they're going to take that amount or whatever amount that they have and start investing it when it gets at a better price. And that's more along the lines of a fundamental approach. I don't have any stats or like data that supports that where I could just pull up links, but that's just something I believe that's happening. Because the one thing I do know that is a fact is that now institutions and big banks are able to start investing and actually start trading into these markets, and they're going to want to do that at the right time. Right now, definitely not the right time. So I do think we're going to see a pretty strong sell-off with Bitcoin and the majority of all cryptos. Like, let's go take a look at Ethereum really quick. So kind of the same sense, right? Ethereum almost, I wouldn't say moves identical to Bitcoin because obviously not, but when Bitcoin's pushing up, the majority of other cryptos are as well, Ethereum being one of them. We don't see that happening right now as far as a bullish notation. If we go take a look at Dogecoin, yeah, what's that doing? You know what I mean? It's not doing much, but does it have the potential to actually be bullish once again? Absolutely. Maybe at these lows. Maybe at these lows. Maybe at the previous lows it was at before when it started even seeing bullish pressure, right? So we have to identify that the market is not going to be bullish until these decision areas are actually made or met rather. When those decision areas are met, then you're going to be able to identify high levels of investment ranges, in my honest opinion. Appreciate your insight, Jay. Shit, always on point. Appreciate you. What's up, Jason? Hi. What is your take on Euro USD? My take on Euro USD with how this market is. Let's take a look at it. So the one thing I'm always going to preach is the higher time frames. Understand what you're looking at based off of what the market is giving you. Don't just go into this shit. I hate seeing it. I absolutely do. I'm not even going to front. People on the 15-minute time frame and then doing this because I see it all the time. They just mark 1,000,001 structures. They have no idea what they're looking at, and they have trend lines intersecting. That's way too much. And especially on a time frame that's not giving you the true sense of what the market is doing. So when we scale back up to the higher time frame being the weekly, there's a few things that we need to take into consideration, right? One, we're going to write this down. One being the trend, because that's important. So the trend. We can see that right now, and this is just using common sense. And this is not sound disrespectful. This is just literally how I trade, how I teach, and this is how I just function. I don't know why, it's weird. But we can see that without any type of knowledge, you don't have to understand trading. You don't even need to know what a pip is. If I was to ask somebody, is this market up? Is this market down? A lot of the time, I'm pretty sure with common sense, people are like, oh, well, it's down, right? That's pushing down. So Common sense. We're in a bearish market. We're looking at the market to continue to sell. Obviously, that's where the probabilities are more in our favor to the downside, because that's where the money is. Now, with that being said, we do have to look left to get right and understand exactly where we are. Where are we? We are somewhat at a level of structure here. So me seeing that, and I'm just more along the lines of looking at here, I'm seeing how far back we can go here. But obviously, there's more lows that I would consider, if that's broken, to be down here. And this is just a quick reference, right? I'm just identifying these lows. But right now, I can see where we are in current structure. So we are at somewhat of a level of support here, especially on the weekly time frame. So we're just going to draw that out. Go back to the daily. Again, still looking more along the lines for sells, because the market is obviously in that direction. That's where the probabilities are. But being that right now we're at this level of strong structure, we got to be able to identify, again, the actions that are happening here. Do I see any type of bullish notation? So let's zoom in. So what I am seeing, I'll go back to the weekly really quick, is, and this is just, again, Tuesday. And this week I might just not really care about how this weekly candle forms, in the sense, because the lack of volatility, is not really going to give us much of an idea. But if we start seeing a little bit more development, even on the weekly, the daily, or how the weekly closes, and how we see more development on the smaller time frames, being the daily, even the 4 hour, and more so the 1 hour as well, we'll be able to see if in fact this will start turning into a buy range. So what we're going to consider, this is a PRZ, a potential reversal zone, which is important, right? Because we're looking at potential reversals here. So what I can identify is more along the lines of, what are these candlesticks going to do? How are they going to develop? Are they going to show me any type of bullish indication? Let's scale down smaller time frames and see. Probably. Now we're starting to understand a little bit more. That's a very important candlestick. I'm pretty sure on the smaller time, let me see what the 1 hour, 15 minute, I'm pretty sure that broke, oh no. All right, so like we even have on the 15 minute, that's actually funny. On the 15 minute time frame, we have another double bottom, but what we're looking at right now, even on the smaller time frames, is a double bottom, right? We can see here, oh, nope. Right here, we have our double bottom. We can even digress and say a triple bottom, because of how this market came crashing down here, pushed above, and came back down. So we can even say that this is more along the lines of a triple bottom, right? I was just wanting to see how this is. But with the sense of how we have respect of this level of structure already 3 times, we can consider this a triple bottom at a level of structure. So let's write that down. Triple bottom at structure. So me being able to see, again, 1, 2, 3, hence the word or the idea of triple bottom, we can see that the market is giving us a strong level of rejection from this level, from this price point. So let me get rid of these arrows. So what we need to do is, again, we're not just going to say, hey, it's time to buy this, but what we can do is start getting a little bit more detail. I would have liked to see this trend line be perfect on all senses here, but that's actually good. That's actually really good, because we might actually start looking for some buys here. The reason being is because we do have 3 touches of this trend line: our base, secondary, and our trigger. And we already now have a break. Now, even though it did break above, this is still respecting a level of resistance, even here just being on a smaller time frame, which is causing that correction. You're not always going to get that retest on that trend line, but we are looking at a retest of previous structure here, looking left. See what I mean? So what can we do here? We have a triple bottom, more so even a double bottom if we want to get even super detailed with this area here. And the reason why I say get super detailed is because if anybody knows how to trade a double bottom, this would be considered your what? Entry point. This will be entries for buys. So let's actually do this. I'm going to go ahead and on my phone really quick and do this rather fast. I'm going to have a 30 pip stop loss. I'm actually going to go ahead and buy Euro USD. I'm going to buy that. Now, I personally would let this develop more. This is why I say it's risky, but I just want to see how this actually turns out. And it's cool trading with you guys live. You know what I mean? You can't digress. You can't get mad. You can't get angry if somebody's making you money. Again, I want to build these streams. I want to build this community through just as much profits, through as much transparency, value, and knowledge as possible. So if you guys are getting any type of knowledge, any type of profits, any type of, anything, by all means, feel free to like this video, share it with somebody. It's really important, again, that we grow this, because I really have a strong vision for this here in the near future. And the more that, we get more people on here, the more that you guys are going to benefit. And this helps my legacy students even more, because the analysis that we do here and the value that's given here just helps me become tries to be as perfect as possible on these charts, which will reflect heavily into their accounts. And also for our EA, because I have the EA still, mimicking how I personally trade and just fine tuning the entries, so that way our EA is just performing to the best of its ability. So definitely helping me with these sessions as well. So it's advantageous on all ends. So thank you guys. So let's see. Are your stop losses always that small? Yes. For the most part, it really depends on the market too, because let's say it's like gold, a small stop loss that looks like a small stop loss is like 100 pips, you know what I mean? Or like Euro NZD or GJ, those markets are pretty volatile. So what looks like a small stop loss sometimes could be like 60 to 80 to even 100 pips, depending on what that market is. But yeah, the majority of the time, my stop losses are going to be looking that decent, if you will. But yeah, I would be looking more along the lines of how for potential buys here on Euro USD. Again, because what we're looking at is we already respected this previous level of structure here being daily. Let me actually just write this down. Actually, weekly at that too. I'll put daily, weekly. So daily, weekly. And we're also kind of getting the idea here of an early inverted head and shoulders pattern. You can see the left shoulder, the head, and the formation of this right shoulder. So let me go ahead and put this trade in. I'm going to take 1 second. Am I in the... Yes, I am in my right account. Okay. Okay. I've personally placed a small buy on this. I'm not going crazy and putting 3 million standards on this, you know what I mean? I'm just placing a nice little buy on Euro USD based off the analysis that we just went over. And just so that we can speak on something, you saw that we went from the weekly time frame to a smaller time frame, was able to find an entry almost immediately. What's important about that is, because I think a lot of people have the misconception that when you're trading these higher time frames, you're only trading, no problem, Jason, no problem. Everybody thinks that you're only trading like one entry per year, I feel. No, you're getting an overall sense of what the market is doing, how it's, going to be moving. And then you're able to base your entries off of that, because let's say you have a strong sense of where the market's going, like the direction, the momentum. Obviously, you want to go in that direction. 50% of your work is going to be done once you identify that true direction. Why? Because now you're not confused as to, oh, is it buying, is it selling? If you know it's buying, all you need to do is now just find out where it's going to buy from next. Obviously, when the market gets there, it'll show you the confirmation that yes, the level, the entry point that you're looking at is in fact correct. There'll be more characteristics and more development that the market will give you to show you that. But you want to just keep it that simple. Let me see. Your EA is dope. I can't wait to use it. Yeah, man. It's been doing really good. Look, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You're going to take losses. It's nothing in this world is perfect. There's no magic EA. There's no holy grail strategy. There's no forex guru. I'm definitely not a forex guru by no means. But when I say that this thing has been so consistent, it's kind of scaring me. You know what I mean? Because what I've been doing was I just had like this little bot that just like kind of like just strategy tests and like follows your trading style. And I have a personal strategy called Legacy Line, and it uses more along the lines like smaller time frame entries to really perform at its best. And when I say, man, it's been working really good. It's been working very good. So I'm excited to see the future of it as well, because what I'm going to do is, as soon as I actually get it to where I want it to be, I'm just going to release it and give it to students. So that way they're able to just use it on their own instead of the copy trader that we have. And then I'll use the copy trader that we have for something completely different. But that's the goal. It's really good, and it's been working really good on gold. So I'm going to be using it on other pairs as well, such as like Euro USD, GJ, and some other volatile pairs, like a stable market and some volatile pairs as well. Facts, yeah, it's a little scary. Yeah, man, it's crazy. A lot of people have been making some solid money. Again, losses have been made. You're never going to be perfect, but even with those losses made, I'm going to tune up the or pick up the lot sizes again, so that way we make that back quick. But I mean, even in a slow market, we've been seeing some really good success. All right, what other questions you guys got? What are the markets you guys want to take a look at right now? Depending on your broker, if you don't have a broker with low spreads, by all means, feel free to use a broker that myself and a few friends have personally invested into. That's our new thing. That's our baby. So obviously, I want to be identifying the lowest amount of spreads. So if you guys need anything like that, by all means, feel free to let me know, and I definitely got you guys. But right now, we are looking for potential sells here. We're looking for potential buys here on Euro USD. But yeah, what other questions, what other markets you guys want to take a look at, feel free to let me know. I'll take a look at some Aussie pairs because I might have some re-entries on some of these. But let me see if there's any type of markets that we should be taking a look at really quick before we continue. Euro AUD is probably going to turn into a market that I want to start looking at, so we'll keep this on the radar. But as of right now, not yet. And what I'm looking at, just real quick, so that way we have an idea of what I'm looking at. Euro AUD was such a strong sell that I do believe that we should be looking for some potential buys coming up here soon. I think also against just the euro. The euro itself is just being extremely bullish, most likely across the board. So, and I'm just looking at this inverted head and shoulders pattern, just on a quick reference. So I want to see how this plays out. Obviously, this being a structure point. So if that's broken, I'll be looking for more continued buys. But yeah, I want to see, again, any questions, anything you guys got, feel free to let me know. I almost thought I lost the stream for a second, but we should be good. All right. It seems like everybody just paying attention and listening. All right. If you guys are just waiting for me to just call out 1,000,001 trades, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but I think Euro USD is going to be the only thing that we be trading live today. So I'm not going to be calling out, tons and tons of trades for you guys to be placing and making all this money, but hopefully Euro USD works out in our favor. So far it is. But again, just want to make sure that I'm answering any and all questions, staying relevant to whatever you guys need, and then going from there. And then I'll also be looking to trade binary with legacy students here after this. I want to see if we are able to practice using our legacy line strategy. Again, just something I really want to practice with you guys, so that way we can identify our entries as well. So yeah, let's see how it goes. But yeah, let me see what else you guys got. Nothing so far. All right. Let me actually go ahead and take a look at GJ. I do want to see how this crazy market is turning out to be. Just like I figured. Okay, so we're going to take a look at GJ because at this point, we're not looking for any type of sells whatsoever on this. GJ is just going to continue to buy, and I believe all yen pairs, for that matter, will continue to buy. So we're actually just going to mark this up here. We're going to draw these highs because this is without a doubt where I believe GJ will be going, and the majority of yen pairs will be reaching their respective highs. But right now, I mean, the majority of what we're seeing is such a strong bullish notation on this market. It's going to be really hard for us to sell it. Just listen, mark up these words, quality over quantity. I appreciate that. So what I'm looking at is, and I'm on the weekly time frame here with GJ because I want to get, again, a strong understanding of what this market is giving me. So what I can see is, and let me actually just go back so that way we all understand, right? We'll go back right here. So originally, what I was looking at with GJ was this being a strong level of structure and holding, right? I wanted to see if this would hold for us, so that way we could look for potential sells. Because as you see, this market was pretty bullish. I mean, it was extremely bullish. And I was expecting maybe some type of correction. Maybe the market will go from here, maybe back down to these lows, because we were already seeing some type of ranging market start to form here. And then maybe if those lows were broken, maybe even lower. So that's something I was expecting and wanting to see. So what I had was something like this. Structure. If broken, buys will continue. And what happened? Exactly that. We see how the market broke right above those highs, right? And let me actually just get this out the way, but we could just leave that. Actually, we'll make it smaller so it doesn't get in our way too much. And you can see how that market just completely broke above those highs. What I do think is going to happen, and this is on a weekly time frame, so this still could be a solid setup, a solid move to the downside, but overall, I do think we should be looking more along the lines for buys. So let me just push this here. Now, being on the weekly time frame, this still, again, can be a pretty strong sell. But we are looking at a pretty low probable sell setup, to be honest. Because right now, there's nothing, if we go back to weekly, nothing to the left stopping us, meaning that we're kind of in no man's land. That the only time that we're going to probably see any type of structure or sell point is when we reach this area here. Because if you look left here, structure, break below, retest, and that can cause a potential sell, but we're not even close to that right now. So what I am going to be identifying is a few things, because GJ is kind of like in this little crossroads, if you will. We can see again the break above those highs, extremely important, because that's telling us long term that buyers are in control, and we should be feeling a lot more confident and comfortable placing buys as this market continues. So since we do have the break above that, we can see a few things. One, we have these highs obviously broken, so we're going to look for this possible retest range. So we have a possible retest range for buys. Let me actually just make sure I put that there as well. For buys. So if I can see that we have a potential range or retest range for buys, we also have the same thing right here, which kind of already, I mean, this is the entire zone because of that wick, but I'm not going to draw that. That's ridiculous. This would be the break above our structural highs. This would be the breakout candlestick right here that started forming new highs. So me being able to see that, buyers are still within the market, and I'm just going to put this as well. Just going to clone that and put this here. Because again, this could be an area for potential buys as well. So the market could do this. Correct lower, retest this range, start to buy. Now, these would also, let me actually just measure this out. I'm already confident with it though. It did hit 38.2, so that would be its own correction. So this would be its own initial impulse. So this is one impulse. This is its own correction. So I can't take a fib from this low to these highs right now. That would be inaccurate. If you don't know, figure it out. It's not hard. It's actually pretty easy. I don't want to give that nugget out because that's actually pretty big, but that's something that you guys should definitely take note of, right? On how to make sure that you're accurately drawing out with your fibs the right impulsive move, and when an impulsive move and a correction has occurred, when not to use it, right? When not to start saying, well, I got to use from these lows to these highs. What you're going to end up doing is just measuring two moves in one and getting an inaccurate reading with your fib. But what we can do is, and we're going to do this for educational purposes only, because since there is right now no correction to this, at least here on the daily time frame from these lows to these highs, we may have to end up moving and adjusting our fib in the future, but that's fine. But what we can do is say from swing low to swing high, let's say it starts to correct from here, beautiful world, we'll have a 618 Fibonacci retracement ratio. That would be great if we can actually get buys from that area as well. So this would be our next potential trade setup with GJ. Now, if anybody's wondering, Jay, would you be selling that to the buy range? Probably not, because again, there's no sell indications on this market just yet. This could continue to just impulse higher, continue to buy. Next thing you know, we're not looking for any type of sells. It doesn't sell whatsoever. And then you're looking at sells, and you're married to a trade that's not profitable. So the best and the higher probability idea is to really let this market truly develop. Really, if it does want to sell, let it sell, right? Because the probabilities, the better idea for us is obviously in the buys. So am I going to sell down to those lows? Absolutely not. Not yet, at least. I don't see any indications. Even though it's like, if you guys are looking at this like, yo, Jay, that looks like it's selling. It does. It looks like it's selling. So did this. That looked like it was getting ready to start selling as well. Did it? No. Completely broke to the upside. So you never want to just immediately start thinking that, oh, it looks like it's going to sell. We want to make sure. We want to know that it is in fact going to sell or make the move that we're looking at. So hopefully that kind of makes some sense for you guys. But that's what I'm looking at with GJ. Nothing on this so far. This is a market that we're going to have to allow to develop a little bit more before we actually start getting any type of entry ideas. If it does start giving us sell criteria, then obviously for legacy students, I'll be able to put that sell out for you guys, whether it is in the EA auto trader for your prop firm, because I'll be kind of like doing stuff with that too for you guys, or signals as well, to really make sure that you guys can manage and control that trade on your own, if you guys would like to place that as well. So Just a quick look here on GJ. We do have 2 potential buy ranges, 2 buy areas for us here in the near future. So again, any questions, any specific markets you guys would like to take a look at, feel free to let me know. I definitely got you guys. If not, I'll take a look at a few more charts, see if there's anything that we could really speak on. But again, I just really want to make sure I'm speaking on relevance, helping you guys understand what you guys need help with, and helping you guys get to the next level of trading, obviously. So yeah, anything you guys got, feel free to let me know. If not, we'll conclude here in a little bit. As the sessions grow, as we get more people on, obviously I'll be on these sessions quite more. I'll be on them a lot longer, rather. Really make sure that we're giving as much information and obviously as much profits as possible. I already see what I'm doing with you, Jay. I'll come back to that here in the future when I start giving us an idea. But yeah, I'll stay on these much longer for you guys. Obviously, as these continue to grow, as we get more, more comments, more questions, more people on, so that way we can actually give value. I don't want to just keep recycling information from market to market and just talk about the same things again. I just really want to make sure that we're good on all ends. So let me actually go ahead and identify something here with USD CHF, which is actually something beautiful. So we do already have a break above. So USD CHF, it does seem as if the dollar wants to continue to gain a lot of strength. Even though, and I'll just go back to Euro USD because I don't see any questions or anything. Even though we're looking for the dollar to gain a little bit of strength, we're looking at something pretty decent here with Euro USD. Look at that. So if anybody actually did go ahead and place any buys on Euro USD, I mean, look at that. That's a beautiful trade so far. Can you look at gold again? Is it respecting? You tell me. Is it respecting? You gotta let me know. I mark them up. You can mark them up with me. Mark them up with me so that way, you know what I mean, you'll be able to identify these things. But is it? Are we there yet? Let me know. I can't tell you that. And this is not to sound rude by no means. I do this with my students all the time, but this is something I want you guys to understand. You need to make decisions on your own. You have to be able to tell yourself and make that decision. Is it respecting? And it's not to sound rude, it's not to sound disrespectful, so I apologize in advance if it does, but it's just so that way you guys can build that confidence. That's the psychological part, right? That's the psychological part when it comes to trading. Being able to tell yourself if what you're thinking is true and if you can be confident to trust it, to go with it, right? So you can see the analysis, you let me know what you want to do from there. But that's a very important part of the game, is being able to trust your own analysis, trust what you see, and be able to make that decision, that final decision on your own. And again, not sounding disrespectful, not rude by no means, but that's real. You know what I mean, that's real shit. But that's pretty good because right now our EA is in some buys on gold, and I think some of those take profits may have been hit. And then from there, it should be looking to sell a little bit lower with the EA as well. I mean, it's just in that consolidated range, so I really wouldn't expect gold to do much else but this until maybe even tomorrow. You know what I mean? But we'll never know. At 8:30, we'll see it at 9:30 as well, too. 9:30 when the New York Stock Exchange actually opens and everything. So it opens at 9:30. I have not traded stocks in so long. It's crazy because when I started trading, when I first got interested in trading, I think for everybody, it was, stocks. Everybody's so interested in conventional stocks. You don't know much about forex. I dug so deep into learning how everything stocks, I forgot everything about it, and I just stuck with forex for so long that I don't even know what time the damn thing opens. That's hilarious. But yeah, we'll start seeing a lot more volatility with gold here soon, especially as these markets open up. Because even right now, we have London, New York layover at 8:30, pretty much when the New York session officially opens. So hopefully we start seeing a little bit more movement on some of these charts because, I mean, I personally would like to trade gold. I mean, it's my favorite market to trade. I like to trade a lot of yen pairs. I mean, the majority of what I trade is yen pairs, GJ, Euro JPY, USD JPY, and any and all US cross pair, Euro USD, GU, USD CHF, USD CAD. So I want to see how these markets are going to start reacting because if we start seeing more bullish potential here with some of these charts like USD CAD, I'll start buying. USD CHF, I'll start buying. USD JPY, I mean, this has been buying for a while, so we'll be looking for continued buys on this as well. So there's a lot that's going to start shaping up in our favor here. Hopefully, if not today, sometime this week. And then we also have if I'm correct, next week. Yes, next week Friday, or not next week, in 2 weeks Friday, we'll also have our NFP day. So Not this coming week. So this week should be good. Next week should be technical. That following week on the what is it for May, we should start looking at this week being a little bit less volatile, a little bit choppy before NFP. So, I mean, even leading into that, I do believe we should be looking more along the lines of a bullish dollar. If we start seeing NFP in 2 weeks, even giving the dollar even more value, then long term, I mean, everything that we're looking at is just going to be in favor for the dollar, meaning that we're just going to continue to buy. Head and shoulders on gold. Head and shoulders on gold. Yes, if you're looking at this, you're absolutely correct. If you see it, call it what it is. A spade is a spade. Call it a spade. Very important. But yes, Rome, you're absolutely correct. There is that potential head and shoulders pattern developing here on gold. And I say potential and developing because it's not one yet, right? It has not really created, actually it has created this this neckline here. But it has not broken the neckline. It has not given us a true sense of a head and shoulders, a completed one, rather a valid one to really show us the true sense and direction. But as far as what you're looking at, Rome, you're 100% correct. My mans, my guy. How you doing over there, my mans? I know it's late over there for you, right? It's like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning for you. My man Rome is a legacy student. He's been on sessions at 3 in the morning, at work, comes home. I'll be doing another session. He gets on that one. My man is dedicated, and it shows because his charts, his trading has gotten crazy too. But yeah, I definitely see that, bro. That head and shoulders on here on golds definitely. Hopefully it plays out. What I would like to see is, again, if this can push up just a little bit higher right into our actual sell zone, because I don't want to just immediately start saying, oh, well, I think it's good. No. You know what I mean? Let's say if I start selling it right now and it starts buying. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that this actually reaches into my actual zone before selling. But if that is the case, then Rome, you already know what we're going to be doing or why the reasons for the sell. Hint, hint, right? Because this head and shoulders pattern is pretty strong at certain points, and we're nearing that point. We're getting close to that, very close. So if it can reach our actual sell zone or these highs, we should be looking for some potential entries here. And again, there is no entries on this as of yet. There is no entries on this as of yet. But this is what my trade setup would pretty much look like, right? This is what it would look like. And obviously, my take profit, for me, I'd never use a take. Oh, I use a take profit, but I generally don't always put one at first. I always have a stop loss, though, right? I always have a stop loss, but I don't generally put a take profit because I always want to make sure that if I can catch the entire move, I can catch the entire move. You know what I mean? That's my biggest thing. So, like and subscribe, peeps. My man, bro. Nas 100, Akeem. Why everybody like these markets, man? I'm about to be like no more indices, only because, and this is just something I want everybody to understand. And I'm not trying to be, you know, Scrooge over here and start bashing markets. But my thing is, and this goes to only people who are like new to trading. If you do not know how to trade, if you do not know how to mark up a chart, if you don't know where to enter a market, you are not even looking or give a flying fuck about this market whatsoever. Point blank simple. And I'm sorry to sound harsh about it, but it's because I see way too many people losing all of their life earned. I literally watched somebody lose $50,000 of some of their retirement money trading US 30, NAS 100, XPX 500 in 3 days. It's unfortunate. And it's not nobody's fault, but I think that just like how it's glorified and traded, yes, I know a lot of money can be made off of it, but guys, please be very careful with these markets. I know it makes a lot of money very fast, but if you're wrong, obviously it's going to make you lose a lot of money fast as well. So just be very, very careful with that, guys. But I'll take a look at it, but I'm just warning you guys now because a lot of people are just getting burnt off of this, and it sucks. I hate seeing it. But just a very simple idea, I think it's going to buy. I think that's all it's going to do. Look at it. I mean, the overall market is what? A strong buy, right? I do think that with this head and shoulders, there's a lot that goes with this, honestly. But right now, what I think is going to happen on this daily time frame, we can see how we have an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We get rid of that, we're at a current level of structure. We're currently respecting that level of structure. Now, am I going to start saying buy right now? Buy right now? Absolutely not. This market currently is selling. Overall, right? The market is selling. I'm not going to sit here and say go ahead and start looking for buys when a market is selling. We're waiting for this market to truly develop and show us what it wants to do. So what can we do to see if it does in fact want to buy? We'll see if that works. I thought maybe we'll be able to get a connection here for a second, but no. And I don't want to just drag this up here to try to make this work, but we can actually do something like that. You can definitely have multiple trend lines in a market. I'm just going to leave these two just for now. I like this one here more, because even though there is no third touch, there could be the sense of this. Comes up, comes down, comes up, comes down, breaks above. So I would like to see something like that. I'm actually just going to cheat a little bit, draw this line here, because that's where the current low is. Let me get rid of this over here. Right. So at this point, I mean, the only thing I would really want to see is a break above previous structure, which is here, to confirm any future buys. And obviously, if this trend line does get confirmed with a third touch, so meaning if it does something like this, comes back down, we get a break of that, then we can get a confirmation of strong buys, right? But as of right now, I mean, this market is looking as a sell. I know it's developing and looking like a buy. It's getting into the motion as one, but it's not as of yet. So right now, there's a lot of things we need to take into consideration. Actually, I do like that structure way more. So this will be your confirmation of what the market's going to do next. Break above TL for trend line. break above potential trend line, and structure equals buys, and then same thing but just reverse out here. Break below support equals continued sells. But with how this market is, and I know a lot of people, they'll start using like the 5-minute time frame to trade this market. I personally don't do that. That's more along the lines of scalping, and that's just looking for like, entries for right then and there. I think anybody who does that, I mean, if you make money, it makes sense. But if anybody's just using the 5-minute chart to just trade one candle, it kind of means you don't trust your analysis as much, and you're not following the true sense of what the market is. But I mean, right now, I do think that, especially if we actually just see how this looks. Yeah, I mean, even with the sense of how this market is looking, we might actually start looking for just more sells. I mean, we have the break of that counter trend line there, and the retest of it, and the rejection from there. So let me actually see what else we could do. Just being as detailed as possible with this. Yep, I saw the inverted, homie. I got you. I mean, even here, that looks like it might even want to sell, because again, now that we just scale down to a smaller time frame to get even more detailed, I mean, I know I said break above here will equal buys. We could have this potential trend line here be confirmed, but we already have a confirmed broken trend line in the retest of it, and the retest already rejected. And if we scale down, we're already creating. That's so weird. So I think we could actually do the same thing here. Almost. I'm not going to try to make it work, force it to work, but I'll actually just do this. I mean, this is a very consistent market, something that you will call oodling. Oodling meaning that, and a lot of pilots use that, basically when all things are functioning together, when everything is just working in unison, very harmonic, if you will. Just making the same harmonious moves over and over again. So we can see how we had a counter trend line there being broken, retested. We can even see how we have a counter trend line here being worked. So if anything, I mean, there is potential sell idea even there that's forming. You know what I mean? Because you have the previous structure here, the break of that, and now you're having a test of that said structure. So there's a lot that you could do with this. Yeah, that 618 Fibonacci retracement ratio being respected. So it does seem as if NAS 100 may be setting up for potential sells. You know what I mean? You're not going against the current trend, even though I know that we are looking at a very significant low point down here that has already been respected. I mean, the market is still very much bearish. The weight to the downside is still there. So going against or going with it right now is not a bad idea. And I'm not saying right now go ahead and go start selling NAS 100. That's not what I'm saying. I would still let this develop, really show us what it wants to do. But I mean, as of right now, it does seem as if US 30 NAS 100 wants to push lower. So that's what I would think would happen with NAS 100 and the majority of all indices. Because if NAS 100 is going to do this, guess what, guys? US 30 going to look almost the same. You know what I mean? Like nothing. There's not much of a difference. These work almost identical. You know what I mean? So if you're looking at sells on NAS 100, you're looking on sells at US 30. You're looking at sells at SPX 500. You're looking at sells on all those as well. So it'll be the same exact thing. But yeah, NAS 100, I would think that, I mean, if we're looking at this, we would want it to develop a little bit more to show and confirm the buys. But if you're looking at the more high probable trade setup and idea, I would be looking at the sells, and it probably looks something like that. So hopefully that makes sense, Akeem. If I'm saying your name right, hopefully I am. I hate saying people's names wrong, so I apologize if I did. But yeah, any other questions? Any other markets you guys want to take a look at? Is anyone confused with what I'm doing as well? Like if anybody's like, what the fuck is that? How do you do that? What's that mean? Let me know. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm here for. Make sure that we build this community based off of actual knowledge, actual transparency, actual value. So if there's something you don't get and understand, feel free to let me know. I definitely want to make sure that you guys are good. And then I want to see, it kind of sucks because I wanted to trade some binary options right now, but I don't like the way that these markets has been really, and I get it. I get why they're slow, but it's way too slow for my comfort to trade anything. I do like the way that these are setting up though. These against the CAD pairs. Let me go ahead and take a look at, you know what? Let me not. I already gave you guys a trade, so I don't want to give you guys too many trades, but right now, me and Legacy students are in some trade. Look at that. That's a beautiful trade setup. So real quick, if anybody did in fact go ahead and place those buys on Euro USD alongside myself here live on the call, feel free to let me know. I definitely want to make sure that you guys are getting that type of value and again, those type of profits. I will take a look at the trade that myself and Legacy students are here here in a second, but I want to make sure that you guys are obviously making profits on this. So if you were able to actually make this trade and if you're currently in profits, go ahead and like this video. It helps big time. I'm helping you make money. This is going to help me build this community to help other people make just as much money as you. And obviously as this continues to grow and we obviously, you know, build this strong community, there'll be a lot more value for you guys. So right now, Euro USD from the live session should be in small profits depending on where you guys got in. If you guys in fact did get in, if you guys don't have a broker that has good spreads, go ahead and use our broker that myself and my friends are invested into as well. That's our broker. So we have the best, if anything, the best spreads across the board, especially for like indices, US 30, NAS 100. So go ahead and get associated with that because that definitely will help you guys get better entries alongside with us. So right now, Euro USD is in small profit. So if you guys are in that, congratulations. Hopefully you guys make more. I get what the general idea is, but the trend lines, support, resistance, higher highs, higher lows are confusing to me. I mean, in the sense, it's just following market direction. I can't go, only because it's the live. Yeah, I mean, I'll go over a lot, but as far as that, and you're going to be a student here soon anyway, so I got you. And I'm also going to be putting out, because for some reason I can't make a training video on this strategy. I don't know why. It's the hardest thing ever, but I'm actually just going to be putting out a huge price action strategy course for you guys. It's free for you guys. I'm not charging you guys anything extra for it if you guys are students, obviously. I'm just giving it to you guys. So that way these sessions become a little bit easier, right? Because these lives are, I would say I'm teaching you guys more advanced tactics in a very basic manner. So if you don't get it, I completely understand. So I'll be putting that training out for you guys so you guys all have that. So that way these sessions become a lot easier. I took it why break and retest Euro USD. Yeah, so again, like we're at this level of structure. If we go back to the weekly, we're at the support range. I'm not going to get rid of everything. I know it looks crazy right now, but we're at the support range. We're looking at the support over here, right? When we come back down to the smaller time frames over here, it's not so much the daily. When we come back to the 4 hour, we can see this bullish engulfing candlestick right off that range. So that bullish engulfing candlestick is one tall tail. And then when we look over here, 2 hour, 1 hour, we have a triple bottom, 1, 2, and then 3. And if you wanted to even argue, this would be considered a double bottom all on its own here. We have the break of the double bottom and the retest of that said structure. when we come back down to the smaller time frame being the 1 hour, you can also see here that we have this inverted head and shoulders pattern. We're right back at that left shoulder price. We're looking for entries. Now we have a cute little smiley face to make everybody's day because you guys are in profits making money. Like the video, baby. Like the video. Gang, gang. But yeah, that's it. That's really the only reason why. You know what I mean? We're not trying to overcomplicate anything within our trading. Obviously, when we get we also have the break above that, this said neckline as well. So the break above that's already got kind of giving us the early indications of volatility within the market and the idea that this wants to continue to buy. So when I think even now when we see a further break above, obviously it's going to give us more indication for buys and for us to hold this. But right now, this is my first target zone. Target's 1. I'll actually write this down. I didn't show you guys that. So target's 1. And then obviously if that's broken, my target's going to be all the way up here. Target's 2 at these highs. Just a very simple concept. Not overcomplicating any of my trading. Not making anything difficult. Just using what the markets have left before. Target's 2. Real simple. I got you, Jay. I'm seeing what peeps are thinking. I got you. I see what you're saying. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just real simple idea. Nothing overcomplicated with anything that I'm doing here. Just using, again, what the markets have left before. So that way we can identify profits here in the future. I just don't like the lack of volatility. I might not trade binary today only because like this is not. Let me actually scale down to the 5 minute. I trade binary in the 1 minute. Actually, you know what? We might be able to. I actually do like the way this looks. Yeah, you know what? We are going to be able to trade some binary. So I do like that. Okay, perfect. Yeah, all right, so we will be able to trade some binary. It was weird because I didn't like the way the volatility looked, but actually I keep forgetting when you're trading binary, you're on the smaller time frames. So you don't want too much volatility, but you do want some, but you don't want it to be too overbearing because you're looking for even a small move, and if it goes against you even the smallest way, you lose your profits. And I'm only practicing on demo. I will be going live on binary because I've been low-key practicing for mad long, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like binary might be my hidden talent, to be completely honest, because this is all demo. This is all demo, so I don't want anybody thinking this is real. But on a demo account with a $10,000 demo, I was able to turn $10,000 into $600,000 in 45 minutes. Again, it's all fake money. It's all demo. But it's a sense that if I could do that in 45 minutes, I could, you know, with fake money, I could definitely do that shit with real money. At least with binary, because trading forex is easy. Trading binary is like even easier, I feel, at some point. So I think that binary might be my hidden talent. So legacy students, if you guys want to trade some binary options here right after this, we'll get onto that as well. But let me see. Oh, no, like and sub. My man's even got the emoji put out. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that big time. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate the support that everybody gives. I know that this forex community is very weird. It has a lot. It has a lot. It has a lot. I get that. But the one thing I do want to at least try to give back is as much value in my time back. At least let everybody know that trading is very real, that you don't need to have this crazy fucking strategy to learn. You don't have to be a part of 30 million groups and teams in order for you to be profitable. That there is no such thing as a guru, and there is no such thing as, you know, a holy grail. But the one thing that you guys should know is consistency is obviously what's going to help you guys become profitable. And that's why I'll be consistent with these sessions. So that way you guys can always become more, I would say, consistent and more closer to your trading, you know, goals and financial freedom. So again, I appreciate the support. I appreciate all of you guys. And my man Rome, I know Nikki J out here somewhere. My man Zach Blair, what's good, homie? I appreciate you guys being on today. I appreciate you guys being on all the time. Real quick, I am looking at a potential idea here with GBP CAD as I just quickly came here. I am looking at a potential sell. I think that, and I want to be careful with this because the Canadian dollar seems to be losing strength. And also tomorrow we have Canadian news. So we don't want to be too caught up in something that could be affected negatively if we start trading it. But I do like the technical standpoints of what we're currently looking at here with GBP CAD. So we do have the idea of a break and retest of our trend line. I am also looking at this level of structure that's currently being tested. And we also have the 71.1 Fibonacci retracement ratio being in the mix as well. Not a Fibonacci ratio that a lot of people use, not a very common one, but also even though it's not commonly used, it's still very much a relevant and strong Fib ratio. That is the 71.1 Fibonacci extension, or Fibonacci ratio rather, not the extension ratio. So we could be looking at this as a potential sell zone. So let's go ahead and do this. And I'll make sure that I'll be putting the analysis here in the Discord for everybody. So that way everybody can obviously be able to use this analysis for your own ideas. If you want to, base your trades off of the analysis, if it is looking favorable, obviously you guys will have that as well. So we're going to put sell kill zone. I'll make this a little bit bigger so that way everybody can see it. And we'll go from there. So let me see. How long you been trading, Jay? 7 years, my man. 7 years. Before this shit was cool. You know what I mean? So I'll be real with you. I started learning how to trade, or wanting to learn how to trade rather, while I was actually deployed in Afghanistan when I was in the Army. I knew that I didn't want to be in the Army that much longer, only because I really did have an entrepreneurial mindset. I think everybody in the Army knew that too. And they were just like kind of forcing me like, yo, bro, you're good at what you do, but we feel like you could do something more. And that's exactly what I did. So I taught myself how to trade, or not taught myself how to trade stocks. I thought I knew how to trade stocks, but trust me, I did not. And then since my failed attempt with stocks, I just randomly found out about forex, and I started learning that. And this is 2013, you know what I mean? So imagine 2013 is 2022 right now. So after that, I just ran with it. I just never put it down. I almost did. I'm not gonna lie. I almost put down trading because I ended up randomly getting a job interview for a 6-figure paid job. It was to work for Brinks Trucks, to be like a security guard, an armed guard, and they were paying upwards to like 140 a year. And I almost quit trading to take that job, and I'm so happy I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. It does sound fun though to be a security guard with all that money. But I'd rather guard my own money now. I'm so happy I didn't. But it was honestly like a random ass. It was so random. They were just like, hey, we see that you just left the military, and they wanted to give me a job interview. And I was trading that day, and I actually made a really substantial amount. And then I made the decision to not go to the job interview. It was crazy. My man said AU longs. If I'm looking at Euro USD longs, and I'm probably going to be looking for AU longs as well. I don't know why you're looking for AU longs, but I mean, if my man Zach, you're looking for it, I would definitely say yes. And nobody knows my man Zach Blair over here is a savage when it comes to trading. So whatever the hell you say, yes. Absolutely. I do think, again, right now, that we might start to see some type of at least pullbacks from how bearish this was to the upside, but I don't think it's going to last that long. You know what I mean? Because I think the dollar itself is going to take over, but maybe to here. You know what I mean? Kind of like what I'm looking at with Euro USD. And if that's broken, then these highs here, leading into NFP that we'll see in 2 weeks, right? Maybe it'll be bullish up into those points, because my theory for a lot of what news or what happens with news is when news, or we see news is looming, right? We know NFP is in 2 weeks. What will end up happening is they know that the dollar is going to probably end up being more, bullish, gain value. What they'll end up doing is they don't want to sell AU, because if the dollar is valuable, is going to sell more in favor of the dollar. They don't want to sell at a low. What will end up happening is markets will start correcting to specific points. So let's say here, the next, the NFP comes out, use that structure point as its catalyst to start selling, or even up here. So I do think that the majority EU, GU, even here with AUD/USD, leading into news in 2 weeks, that these will start to ease off from the sell points and start giving us better entry points. So that way when NFP does come out, they're like, oh, time to sell it. We'll have better entry points. So I do think AU longs and the majority of like AU, again, Euro USD, if anybody's in it, like these, in my opinion, will be more bullish, right? And I'll go to GBP USD here as well. But I think what we're looking at is that these will start correcting in a sense before we start seeing any type of sells. Like even look at GU right now. Right? GU right now respecting this level of support. Respecting that support so far is pretty important. So if we actually have a break above that, break above these highs right here, probably going to see some other highs being met. So just a very simple, quick idea. But yeah, I do believe I'm in agreement with you, Zach. For the I'm short term on this. Perfect. I mean, exactly what I was saying too. So we're in the right mindset. You're in the right mindset, right? I'm not long term on any of these buys, but these are more along the lines of corrective moves. So again, obviously, if that's broken, we're here. If anything, here leading into NFP, any type of news that might be used for a catalyst to start driving these lower. But I do think, just like you said, I wouldn't be long on these for long. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be buying these for too long. Ideas align. Ideas align. And it's cool, too, because there's a delay. So I'm not just like reading this shit and then aligning it. No, this is actually just we're all just in the same agreement right now. All in the same agreement. But yeah, I'll be looking at all these AU, GU, EU longs just because of these corrective moves. And let me actually just go ahead and see. Aha. Look at that. We get a break above that. Then we're obviously in cooking with grease right there. I like that. So let me actually go ahead and just confirm. I'm just drawing highs and making sure that I'm identifying structures that need to be broken to confirm some ideas, right? Because you can't just say, oh, it's time to buy it. It's absolutely going long without things happening. We need breaks. We need respect of things. We need confirmations. Without those things, you can't just place a trade. I know that I'm saying, yes, we're looking for longs on AUD/USD, but do we have any confirmations on that just now? I mean, actually, I do think we might have some coming up soon. But what we should be doing is always really allowing that market to develop. Meaning that, like, let's say this market was just like right here. I'm like, oh, well, we just hit this support zone. We should be looking to buy right now. No, because can that come down lower? Yes, it can. Can we get a better entry on that? Absolutely. So can this develop and give us more of an idea? Yes, it can. So even with AU, I might actually start looking for buys on this as well. I mean, sometime soon, because it's pretty much exactly what we're looking at with Euro USD for the most part, right? So we might actually start going ahead and get some buys on AU. So let me go ahead, keep this on the radar. I'm not going to enter this just yet, but all these markets that I'm looking at will be shared on the Discord for you guys. So that way you guys can obviously take advantage of that. If you're not in the Discord, go ahead and feel free to go into the description below. Join the Discord. The link is in the description for you guys. Traders, obviously be cautious. Trading corrections, trade the trend. Absolutely. Euro USD is my only one at the moment. Good. If Euro USD is your only one, that's perfect. You don't want to overtrade. So let me actually just go, let me make sure I put this on the chalkboard again. Again, there's no entries on this right now. I'm just identifying, letting this market develop, show me what it truly wants to do, and then go from there. But Euro USD, still very good. But all right, questions, comments, anything you guys got for me, feel free to let me know. Any other markets you guys want to take a look at, feel free to let me know. I definitely got you guys. Look at that. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Look at that. And trust me, there's no entry on this, but what I'm speaking on is that's exactly what I said. So my trade will look like this. If I'm going to enter a market, I will let the market develop and reach my point, reach my zone, get to where I want it to actually start getting to, and then identify and look at gold. Does that look like a favorable trade for us? It kind of does. And I know right now our EA is performing really good because I think those take profits might have been hit for those buys. So that's beautiful. I like that. So I think that we might be getting ready for our sells on gold setting up pretty soon. So no, there's no entries on this just yet. So be careful with that. But I do want to see what eventually happens with this. I mean, you couldn't get any better with that. We did this all together here. Again, there's no pending orders. There's no entry. There's no trade on this just yet. But I mean, what we're identifying, what we're looking at, it's great to see that it actually does work. So that way you guys can trust it. Go back, study, back test, and really be able to use this to become more consistent. So appreciate the love, Jay. I appreciate it too, man. I appreciate you, Zach. Appreciate the support, man. But yeah, questions, comments, anything else you guys got? If not, we'll conclude for today. I do want to see if we can trade some binaries with some legacy students. I really want to practice some more with that. That was our trade setup that I sent out a signal for them yesterday. I don't want to share that with you guys. You guys already got a trade. You guys already got Euro USD. I got to leave some stuff for legacy students too, you know what I mean? But no, obviously you guys are always going to be profitable as well. I'm going to make sure that I look out for the public side of the Discord and the legacy family. It's not always going to be legacy students, I promise, but obviously I got to make sure that they're taken care of in priority. So right now you guys are in profits on a trade. Now they are in profits on two. We're probably going to get two or three more, depending on how some of these charts work out. And that might be GBP CAD. I won't send that as a signal for you guys, but I will share the analysis with you guys so that way you can determine your own, your own thoughts, your own beliefs if you would like to enter that on your own. Obviously, if I believe it's going to be an enterable market, I'll send that as a signal for your legacy students. I definitely got you guys. But yeah, what else you guys got? If anything, I still got time. Right now it is 8:33, so you're going to start to see the markets open up a little bit more, especially with the U.S. market. And we do have that London layover, so you might see a lot of volatility with some of these pound pairs and these euro pairs. They're not going to last too long. The U.S. cross pairs will, but as far as the euro and pound pairs, not so much. But I want to see if we can take advantage of GBP CAD while we have the chance. So hopefully this does work out in our favor, because if it does, I would like to sell from this area. So hopefully this does work out for us. But yeah, anything you guys got, feel free to let me know. Let me know. If not, we'll conclude for today. I'll catch back on with you guys again first thing tomorrow morning. We're going to be doing these YouTube lives every day, unless there's a holiday. Obviously, there's no point to be trading, no point to be on the charts. But right now there is, so I really wanted to make sure that I'm on the charts with you guys, giving back as much knowledge and time as possible. Really make sure that you guys are understanding to the best of your ability. So anything you guys got, feel free to let me know. If not, we'll conclude for today. I'll see if the markets are still forming up to be, tradable for binary options. It does seem as if they might be pretty decent, might be pretty good. So if we do have the opportunity to trade some binary options, legacy students that are currently on, we'll be looking at that here shortly. If you would like to participate, if not, that's perfectly fine. The EA is running. I'll be sending the emails out for our EA to run on regular accounts, not just prop firms. So that way, anywhere an account with $500 to $1,000 could be easily traded. Very low risk. Don't expect $1,000 a day, but it's going to be very low risk. So that way, obviously, everybody can participate and be able to make consistent profits, compounding it day by day. It'll be trading gold and some forex pairs, so that way you guys can have some variety within your brokers. So yeah, questions, comments. One love. I appreciate you, Terrence. I appreciate every single person being on today. Now, real quick, I appreciate if everybody could just do me one quick favor. I'll be doing these as much as I possibly can, giving back as much knowledge and value as possible. Please go ahead and like this video. It's really important that we, continue to grow through consistency, value, and profits. The more that we grow, the more money that everybody's going to make, because obviously, if we get hundreds of people, which I've had sessions with 500 people at one point. I know we could do that. By all means, I will literally be on these calls for hours, giving out all of my trades, giving out as much information as possible, really making sure that everybody understands what's going on and how to become more profitable. So help a brother out. Really make sure that you like the video, help the algorithm. I really want to extend this to as many people and help people in a positive manner as possible. So with that being said, I really do appreciate any and all support that you guys can leave behind. Like, subscribe, share, follow, do whatever you can. I really do appreciate it, and I'll make sure that I continuously be as consistent and as valuable and knowledgeable to you guys to the best of my ability. So I don't see anything else from you guys so far. Catch up soon. I appreciate you, my man Rome. I highly appreciate you. For everybody who's on currently as well, I appreciate every last one of you guys and the support that you guys give. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated with any and all analysis as far as trading and charts are concerned. I'll be posting these and a few other charts in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, go ahead and go into the description below. Join the Discord. I'll be sure to help you guys out to the best of my ability. So with that being said, if you guys want, by all means, feel free to hit me up if you guys need anything. I'll see you guys on the next one. God bless. Love every last one of you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, everybody. Thank you.